and our mics are live, and we are live. Ultra Podcast Z, episode 73, on this lovely, lovely September 17th evening. Is that the date correct? Yes, it's correct. And as always, I am Manuel, leader of AJ Connections, and tonight I am joined with the man of many names,
Frederick Badman.
Yes, I actually was gonna put just Badman there. Actually, I'm gonna change that. You're gonna be Badman. You're gonna be Badman.
Either one works.
Because you're a bad. You're a bad man. But anyhow, that was actually a pretty fast intro. You should just babble forever. But tonight, we have a very special podcast for you. We're going to talk about Japanese metal. It's a little different. No Konaru, no idols, no anime, no tier lists, no
just
metal. Yes, no Little Caesars. But
no Little Caesars. No, yes. That's super metal. You have your beer and pizza.
On that note, chat is open. Feel free to chime in the chat on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good nonsense. And yeah. So before we jump into it, the couple topics we're going to try to cover tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, then look at the description. You might notice we changed a few things or added a few things. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, if you want to be really lazy or want to be a super cool person or whatever the fuck, you can scrub the video. You can see the topic changes at the bottom. If I'm smart enough to do it that way, if not, it's on you. Watch the whole thing. So we're gonna talk about some Western influences, Japanese metal, early bands, some of the big, really huge ones. I want to talk a lot about X and Saber Tiger, a ton of smaller bands. I don't even want to say this word. I feel like it's gonna ban us from Twitch. Actually, we'll talk about that later. That'll be a surprise if we even do it. I'll just say there's another thing I want to talk about. But female bands, success in the West, a bunch of new bands, and some Visual Kei bullshit. So let's jump into.
Wow, some Visual Kei bullshit.
Well, before we get, actually, I wanted to talk. Even though I just said that was gonna be the last thing, I want to tackle that first for a second. But before we go any further, I want to.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. We could. I guess we could just juggle it all around.
Of course, we're going to wing a lot of this. Before we go any further, I want to talk a bit more about Mr. Badman over here and who he is, with all of his cool metal shit behind him, making my black background look stupid. But Warren, tell a bit about yourself.
Like what I do?
Yeah.
Well, actually, the funny thing is that someone on, because I thought so. Me, I am just a guy that loves metal. I love playing video games, but I love metal. I love metal a lot more, or music in general. I'm just a fun-loving guy. Me and this guy right here. We like to drink.
Oh yeah, a bit too much sometimes.
Him a little bit too much, but no, I'm just a good buddy of. I can't say your name.
Yeah.
What do we?
No, it's Manuel.
Oh, okay.
Manuel.
Okay. So for Manuel, yeah, we've been friends for a good while, yeah.
Yeah, a few years now.
Yes.
And we
a few years now, and
we run some panels.
Yeah, how did this? We finally, I run a panel with him, because it so happens to be like I'm a bass player. He's also a bass player.
Yeah, it's just like weird little coincidences over the years.
And then we bonded over that's Santeria, that Sublime.
Oh God!
And then it kind of just like steamrolled after, like not even out. Yeah, a little after drinking with you guys for a bit. It kind of steamrolled, but I'm just the guy that loves metal, plays some music, plays a lot of video games, and whenever I get to see Manuel, we have great times.
Great times.
HentaiCon.
HentaiCon. Yeah. Everyone go to HentaiCon. We're gonna have a lot of fun at HentaiCon this year. That's the first weekend in November. Everyone go to that, please. We have a lot of good panels lined up. So let's actually like kind of tackle Visual Kei real fast. We'll cover it a bit more later on, but I don't really want to talk too much about that tonight. I don't know if you like. Some of it's gonna weave in and out because it has to. But Visual Kei,
Mhm.
I feel, is like its own beast. Don't you agree?
I mean,
Yeah.
they're like it's weird because well, in Japan, it's kind of like they play kind of the same music, but they're in like totally different worlds, right? So they, as I guess, it's like the yin and yang of each other because there's a whole bunch of like was it like there's a documentary I watched which is like I think it was called Metal, I think it was Metal Around the World or something like that, and they went to Japan and they're talking about how they both play the same music, similar music, not the same but similar music, but the scenes don't like each other necessarily,
Well,
and
something
it's
something I noticed, and I don't know if everyone will agree or disagree with me on this, is that in Japan, like in the world in general, the metal scene's a lot more mixed, but it also is a lot more guy heavy. I don't know how to say it, but the Visual Kei scene,
oh
especially in Japan, is very, very, very female centric. It's like,
hmm
you go to fucking, I can't think of a band right now, but you go to like any of the, you go to Pentagon, or you go to like Acme, or any of the, some of the current bands like Arthur Quinn, and you'll see the crowd is like predominantly female with their
oh
furigana,
yeah
not
yeah
furigana, furi, what that's called, the shit when they do the hand movements. I
like
can't.
uh um um uh
Anyways, they'll
wow,
do
I
that.
forgot.
Anyway, you don't see that really in metal. Metal still has the walls of death, and like the mosh
You
pits
have the
and
moshing, you have the stage diving. Some places, depending on where you are, you get a lot of slam dancing, skanking, the 9 yards.
so let's talk. So, anyways, my point is we're not gonna talk that much about that because it's a little. It's hard to separate them, so we're just not gonna try. But we're gonna talk a bit more before we go any further. Some early bands. So even though there have been a
We have,
crap ton of before them, let's talk about Loudness first. I'm trying to find a picture, by the way, which is why that disappeared. Let's talk about Loudness
let's
first.
do it.
Um. So, well, I find the picture because I can't multitask very well. Tell us about who Loudness is.
So Loudness is probably the biggest heavy metal band to come out of Japan, period. Um, they're kind of like I wouldn't say they're not the pioneers per se because there's a whole bunch of different bands, but they're one of the biggest pioneers to bring show the world that Japan could, play some. Can I cuss on this?
Yes, we can cuss.
Oh, okay. Well, they showed the world that Japan could play some motherfucking metal
Hell yeah.
and some really fucking good one too. Because not just like it's a lot of it comes from Akira Takasaki, who is the leader of the band and who is also the guitar virtuoso of Japan. They kind of give him, or not just Japan but Asia. They kind of kill like they some people coined him as the Van Halen of Japan.
He
And so
has.
this all happened like in the early 80s.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, no, it's okay.
Oh no, he has a very interesting playing style. It is very similar as well to Eddie Van Halen. It's different, of course. Um, Also, not to jump ahead too far here, but they're also really
Mhm.
interesting because they got a lot of fame. Actually, it's not even jumping ahead. They got a lot of fame early on, like in their
Oh yeah,
career
definitely.
during the '80s.
hmm
Because some of the other ones kind of went more towards the tail end, but but
hmm
Loudness achieved pretty decent worldwide fame like early on in their career with like Thunder in the East and so on.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because like well because so the funny thing is that even when like because of Thunder, did you know that actually Thunder in the East is actually I think their fifth record,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
right? And it's kind of funny because we kind of talk about like oh my God, there's like this big thing, and you would think okay, the first record, the thing that kind of broke it, but it's pretty interesting to see that it happened to be the fifth record. I think it was it. I think in '85, and they just kind of blew up.
Um, Also, some interesting things about Loudness. When the original vocal, also, I should before we go any further, um, they have a very classic lineup, and you're seeing them right there in that picture. But when their original vocalist left, Minoru, what's his help me out here?
Minoru Nihara.
There you go, Minoru Nihara. When he left, they replaced him with an American vocalist, Mike Viscera, who I don't know what he did before he had joined Loudness, but he became very famous afterwards for singing for Yngwie Malmsteen and solo career. He was in Animetal USA and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And I love his voice.
Yeah, he has for Soldier of Fortune. That is actually that record is the record that he came on to, and that's actually the song that is probably, I think, their biggest song with him.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, that guy has some real pipes. Like, for damn sure, every time I listen to it, it's just like, it's just like,
yeah. Also, by the way, even though we're talking about all these powerful songs, sorry we can't play them all because we get so flagged on YouTube and probably on Twitch too. But anyway,
they're like, get out of here.
Yeah, taking all your money and we're blocking it in 8 countries. But
we'll play you can play some of the music video without the sound. You have the lyrics at the bottom.
But
continue. Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. But besides that, the American vocalist, they had the bassist from X Japan in there, and so on. But before we get more into that, because I don't want to jump too far into the timeline, let's talk a bit about Anthem, because Anthem is another band that I feel we never talk about, even though we should. And
Anthem. It's actually. Oops. Do you want to pass it off to me?
No, yeah, go ahead, because I'm gonna start finding the picture I needed.
Yeah, Anthem is they are also, for me, it's kind of funny because I really, really love Loudness, and then Anthem is actually, it's right there with them. And for those who don't know, they're actually also one of the biggest heavy metal bands to come out of Japan as well. Very influential, but they didn't make it as big as Loudness did.
Yeah.
And because they were so they're part of the first wave, technically the first wave, but their success, just like Loudness, didn't come until 1985, when they're the first record. I think it was oh no, I don't know, what was the first? I can't believe it. This thing's
well, it's fine if we're not Wikipedia style knowledge. Just go on.
But there you go. It's Anthem, literally. The
Oh.
is Anthem. But they were actually one of the, since it's kind of interesting because to see, because when you listen to them, it's like, dang, Loudness, they kind of Loudness, I think they had the bigger push because they had a more commercial sound, but Anthem at the time gave such a classic heavy metal, they play some real classic heavy metal stuff, but it's less about love and all that other stuff, and it's just about what heavy metal is about. It's all that power, all that strength. And it's not only that, the riffs that they wrote were phenomenal, especially in the song Warning Action's a good one. Wild Anthem is actually probably one of their biggest song, which, that riff, when you hear that riff come out, it's like, it has it's saucy. It's super saucy.
Oh man, not to jump back to Loudness so fast. We were kind of remiss by jumped over Thunder of the East, just talk about Soldier of Fortune. We kind of were remiss by not talking about Crazy Nights. MZA.
Oh.
My zebra ass.
My zebra ass.
Oh man, if you want to, everyone go watch the Loudness video for Crazy Nights, and you can laugh at that too. My zebra ass. What?
They say MZA, and it doesn't mean anything. It's so funny. It's I think, and because it was Japan at the time. We didn't have internet, no, they're just like, you know what? MZA sounds cool. We're gonna put it in our, it was like what in the chorus,
Yeah.
right? And I'm just like, oh no,
And
pre-chorus. Oh no, that thing's the break.
what was
The
it? The
break.
break? Yeah,
Yeah,
the break. But we should
it's like
we should just call the panel that from now on, like my zebra ass Japanese metal in the 80s.
we'll put it in parentheses. We'll just put it in parentheses.
Yes. Oh my god.
But that song was actually for some like that song was the song that made them huge.
Yeah.
It was that specific song, and from Thunder in the East. Actually, I have their I think there's the 30th anniversary shirt right here.
Did you see them live on that tour? I feel bad for my anthem when Loudness is still there.
Yep.
But yeah, I saw them live on
Yes,
that tour
I did.
as well. Wait, did you go to the show? Oh, but you were in NorCal. Never mind. Okay.
I'm in NorCal, so
Yeah.
I saw them in San Jose.
Okay, 'cause, like, I saw them at the Whiskey. Fuck, I forgot what. I saw them at the Whiskey. I forgot who else opened for them, but it was a really good show entirely. Salem's Lot were there. That's what I remember. They were there, and like Luda Dark was there of all people, like local people. But
yeah, which is it's. Oh, continue. Sorry.
oh no, go ahead. That was it.
Oh no, it's like I don't remember who opens for them. It's just I remember there being a whole bunch of old guys, and then a whole bunch of young kids.
Oh, dude,
And I was part of the yeah.
no, that was like that. Not only were there all the old metalheads, but there were kids. They were like the kind of punks that you ever see that movie like What's Up Rockers? Like the rocker. It was like all those kind of punk kids like that I saw when I was in high school. Where the fuck I'm like, what the hell? There's still kids like that these days, and they're all at that fucking show, like making a fucking scene, like headbanging like crazy, like knocking people over. And if you've ever been to the Whiskey, it's a tiny ass theater. It's so fucking tiny. And,
yeah, so that place, I thought that I was like, it's legendary, but I looked in there, I was like, oh my god,
no,
it's
exactly.
a club. It's literally a club.
It's like fucking okay, not to get too off topic, but fucking Green Day, Weezer, and Fall Out Boy in the trio, like that tour that's coming up. They did a secret show at the Whiskey, and I'm like, you're really gonna fucking put those three giant bands in this like, tiny like
and the Whiskey of.
Like no joke, we've done panels in rooms that are bigger than that fucking club. Like we've done like panels at conventions in rooms that are like 4 times the size of that fucking club. That club is like a closet with a weird balcony, and the backstage.
Yeah, it's like
oh my god.
It's like everything's just like right there. Section parts off, and I'm just like, oh, so this is the legendary venue. And I was just like, oh, I understand now. I understand.
But anyway, let's move on. I want to talk about some of the more interesting interesting, no offense to Anthem and Loudness, but actually let's talk about EZO, and then we're going to talk about some of the more obscure bands. So I feel like we got to have one more giant one. If I can even find EZO. Oh, Flatbacker.
Let's see. Or Flatbacker, EZO, interchangeable, different bands, interchangeable.
Yeah. Oh, the thing froze on me, but it's fine. We can still talk. No, just my picture thing froze on me. I don't know why. But Flatbacker was a metal band. Oh, there it goes. It finally loaded. Their big song, of course, is "House of a Thousand Pleasures," and it's funny because they recorded 2 albums, which I don't know if I've asked you about this already or whatever. But I have never heard them except like in live versions. I know they exist and somebody has to have them, but I've never heard the Flatbacker albums.
Flatbacker?
Yeah, I've never heard them, except like on YouTube, a couple song rips. But when they got the attention of like a record label, in the U.S., they changed their name to EZO. Accordingly, apparently from Gene Simmons, who also produced their 2 records in the U.S. and they re-recorded a lot of their songs in a much different style. Obviously, House of Thousand Pleasures changed a lot in the EZO era. But what I find interesting, what I find interesting, you can go and like back up a little if you want after this. But what I find interesting is that when EZO broke up, because they weren't around for very long, when they broke up, a lot of their band eventually made it into Loudness. Their vocalist was Loudness's vocalist throughout most of the 90s when Mike Becerra left, and then their bassist joined too eventually. So Loudness kind of became
Yeah,
like
and then
a super group.
like the dad. Yeah, no. Like, well, also the drummer, what's his name? Kiro Homa.
Yeah.
He actually joined. He joined Anthem from like 2001 to
Oh, I
2013.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah.
for the longest, he just got replaced. Oh, I mean, in 2013, obviously, but it's like it's kind of funny to see people just kind of just like scoot over.
No, and
And I'm
that's
like, we're
actually
just gonna
what
take
I.
you. We're gonna take.
That's what I want to talk about
We're
in a
gonna
minute
take
with
you.
Saber Tiger Next Japan, because those bands are like so fun to talk
Mhm.
about, because like everyone was in these bands. But anyway, EZO House of a Thousand Pleasures. I keep wanting to say Corpses because that fucking movie, but House of a Thousand Pleasures.
I think not to go off topic, but I think Rob Zombie released this another movie today. I
He
think,
did. It's only playing in some theaters.
right?
It's like the third part to
Like
it's a third part
the
to
the,
House of Thousand Corpses.
the
House of Thousand
House
Corpses,
of
Devil
the Corpse.
Rejects,
Yeah.
and then whatever the fuck this one's
Uh-huh.
called, like three something. I forgot what it's called. But yeah. Um.
I only know this because I saw on YouTube Joe Rogan was talking to him.
Oh shit. Oh, this is
Yeah.
also off topic, but like every so often I'll watch our podcast back because I want to like, not so much because I want to like, I want to check audio. I want to just hear myself. I think I want to hear myself, but I want to like see like, oh, we could improve this or that or whatever. And I watch it. I watch them back, and then whenever, for some reason, I don't know if it's because podcast fucking Joe Rogan, but fucking the Joe Rogan podcast always is a suggested video after ours, and then that starts, and I'm like, why
Oh,
isn't it
is it?
more of us? Yeah, like why isn't it even more of
That is
us,
so weird.
or at least something we were talking about? Like why isn't it like anime or something? You know what I mean, or
Hmm.
idols or whatever the fuck.
Do we just maybe the algorithms just like
Yeah,
sees podcasts and it's just
Joe
like
Rogan.
Joe Rogan podcast.
It's fucking annoying. But yeah, so that's Flatbacker EZO. Now let's talk. Oh, I'm already changing the name before I finish this
Hmm.
picture. Oh, I can't spell. Saber Tiger. Saber Tiger.
S-
Oh, I still can't
Saber
spell. Oh
Tiger.
my god.
It's a
Oh my
Saber
god.
Tiger.
No, no. Okay, okay. There, I spelled it. I put
Are
Saber.
you okay?
I swear. I don't know if you saw, but I was obsessed with putting an A in there. I don't know why, but
Sabotage.
no, I was putting like save like Saber Tiger. So, anyways, um, Saber
We'll make it
Tiger.
sound edgier.
Saber Tiger is a band. Let me find a picture first. Is a band that everyone knows because of one reason, because Hide was in it. But
Yep.
he wasn't in it for very long, so it's kind of unfair to them that people only know them for that. What they should really be known for
Like,
is like always being in the underground forever.
oh, yeah, that's true. That's very true.
As far
It's
as
like,
go ahead.
oh no, it's just because like, it's like they had one EP, right? In '85 they had one EP, and then everything else after that is like splits and like videos and like live albums and even the live album and there's like a compilation. It's just History of Hide Volume One. Like his name, like it's fun. It's not funny, but it's just like Hide has his name stuck to it. So they had some Saber Tiger stuff, and it's just like one video is like History of Hide. Then they have another live album, History of Hide Volume One, and then History of Hide Volume Two. And they have one like Origins of Hide, and it's just it's interesting to see that a band like that is so big, but they never really like threw out like a full length.
I know. And I.
And they're oh, continue. Sorry.
Oh no, and they have so many huge musicians in their lineup, and not so much the likes of like somebody from Loudness and like that, but they have a lot of musicians who made up X, like before X became X Japan. They have a lot of people who
Mhm.
were like in fucking like
Yeah, some
like Rommel and Rosenfeld and so on.
I don't know. You even have then. I think their vocalist Kill was actually in Dellinger.
There you go. I can't even forget about that. That's like the biggest one.
Yeah, which is like what the and it's very interesting because it's just like eventually it's like these guys kind of split and they just started, you know,
Yeah.
they grew their roots somewhere else. But it's just, well, continue. Well, actually, Tetsu, who's also the drummers in Saber Tiger, is also in Dillinger too.
Yeah, and then when that band broke up, also Kyo went to Diane Cries. But they broke up as well. But Diane Cries was like really like popular as well in the '90s, and well, Kyo's like famous in general, the vocalist, and it's just so crazy because and the band is still around today. By the way, funny enough.
Not Kyo from
Oh, not Kyo.
Okay.
Yeah, he's too famous for that.
Not Kyo.
Oh yeah, like it's not
Kyo from Duran Gray.
No. I know, like
we just have to make sure we just have to clear it up so then no one's just like Kyo was in. But they know.
Dude, this is a slightly older Kyo, like usually have blonde hair and like yeah, but like I was saying, oh yeah, so Saber Tiger is still around to this day, and they have a very changing lineup. Like I said, like I think Hikaru's like on bass, and like a few other people. Shit, y'all escape me right now. All their names. I actually knew one of the more recent lineups, but Hikaru on bass is pretty interesting because he was also like the longtime bassist for X before Hida joined. Funny enough, I always want to see a perfect timeline because I don't think even one exists in Japan because it just feels like the people were being borrowed as the bands were still all active around.
Until they set on a real lineup, and then they're just like, and also it's like, as soon as they kind of hit the mainstream popularity, they're like, there's your lineup. And the funny thing is, it's like, it's hard to like even pinpoint too. Like, I'm pretty sure there's more people in revolving through that door than they actually tell us. And I think it's just like people are just like, yep, pop, 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 pop. You know, we know this guy, we know this guy, we know this guy, we know that guy. You know what I mean?
Speaking of X though, let me pull this off actually real fast. Speaking of X though, before X was X Japan, or even before X was releasing what's it called? Vanishing Visions. They released quite a few things before that. I think their very first release was that I'll Kill You, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it was that I Kill You demo.
Yeah, which is
Ow.
I won't show that picture. Actually, I almost did, but I just remembered that actually has pictures of like dead bodies on it, and I don't want to get like kicked off of everything.
It's super edgy.
Yeah. If you look at the cover of that single, I already kind of gave it. I deleted the background. Oh, that's what I did. Fucking hell.
Oof.
How do I bring it back? Okay, it's fine. So, hold on. Let me just start editing this in the background. It's fine. Don't worry about me. But like I was saying, the lineup of X Japan was very interesting because they had a lot of different members who you wouldn't know. I already mentioned. I think that I'll Kill You single. I may be mistaken, but I believe that I'll Kill You single. I keep saying I kill you, but the I'll Kill You single has did that work? Yes, it worked. Oh, thank God. Okay, there. Has I want to say it was Hisashi on bass and Carrie on guitar. I think Carrie's the one who's from Rosenfeld, correct? And Rommel. Carrie? Anyway, all these bands have crazy lineups, but suffice to say, if you look at the band, there's only 4 people. Actually, yeah, only 4 people, and technically they had one guitarist. The only people you recognize from this lineup are Toshi and Yoshiki. There was a huge period in X's history where it was just Toshi and Yoshiki. Sorry, I was babbling there because the fucking background disappeared. But that was what I was trying to get at.
Don't worry about it.
But that was the point I was trying to make, that there was a huge lineup of X that nobody really knows of because of that. And it still says Saber Tiger.
Like, I think...
Go ahead.
Oh, no. You're right. It's like Yoshiki and Toshi... Yoshiki and Toshi. Damn, can you say Yoshiki Toshi? Can you say that? It's like the tongue twister.
Yoshiki, Toshi,
but
Yoshiki, yeah.
They have like been like the big mainstays of the band. Well, Yoshiki won because Yoshiki is quote unquote the leader. But I mean, he is. But it's just, we try not to like put people over each other. But yeah, Yoshiki is the guy that kind of he's the head honcho of X Japan. But like, I wonder. Let's see, what year was it when they actually Yeah. So actually, Hikaru was in '85. Wow.
Hold on a second
But
while I fix all the shit because I broke
it's
everything. Keep talking about X Japan.
did you kill it?
No, I need to fix the background because I broke it.
Oof.
Just keep talking.
But like, see, even it's the really interesting thing is that even like I think it's up until you're right. Yeah. Up until like probably near Vanishing Vision is where the lineup starts to be. Oh no. Even like let's see during Kurenai, yeah. Kurenai is when they actually start having the actual lineup. The Kurenai EP. No, demo. There you go. The Kurenai demo has I think the main. Oh no, even further back. They actually have like. I'm sorry, I'm just like looking at this because I was like, there are even some things for that. It's been a while for me too. So, yikes. Yeah. They've been. There you go. Yeah, I think
Okay.
it is up until. So when they started, when they actually there's a split called Skull Thrashstone Volume One, and that's when the actual classic lineup everyone knows: Yoshiki, Toshi, Pada, Taiji, Hide. Oh, sorry, my bad. Yoshiki, drums, piano; Toshi, vocals; Pada, guitar one. I would just say guitar, and then Hide also on guitars, and then Taiji on bass. So that's when I mean classic lineup, as in I think the average, not the average fan, but what the average fan would typically see if you search them up on YouTube right now. That's who you'll see. If not, if it's anything past 1992, then we'll swap out Taiji for Heath.
Yeah. So sorry, everyone.
And then Heath.
Thank you for carrying that, Frederick.
Frederick.
I don't know why I said that like that, but anyways, no, sorry everyone. I messed up the background and I did not know what I did, so I had to fix it. It took a while. I apologize. It all looks the way it should now. I don't know when I did that, but I literally deleted everything from the background. I had to put it all back. So and thank God it's a little not. If I have to do it again, I know how to do it. But yeah, X Japan. Sorry to take your head. And then everyone kind of knows, X Japan. If you want to know a lot more about X Japan, you should watch the documentary We Are X, which I think is available on like streaming. I think it's available on Amazon. Funny enough, like if you have Amazon Prime.
I haven't finished it. I didn't. I finished it, but I came. They think they had it on. Oh my bad. You said it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. What are you gonna say?
It's pretty good. I didn't get to finish it because I came in late for the showing that they did for Anime Expo.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they had I
Expo.
forgot about Anime Expo. No, I saw it at one of the many premieres. They had a bunch that Yoshiki was at.
Mm-hmm.
And the one I went to was in LA or somewhere in the area, and they had several actually, but I went to one of the ones in LA. And the movie was good. It's what I found really funny about it is two things. One is that Yoshiki still considers themselves Visual Kei, which is a topic that's a whole can of worms in itself. I'm not going to go too far into it. But basically, just in case you didn't know, X Japan created the term Visual Kei. It was like part of their slogan, and it got used to describe X Japan and bands like them. Just FYI. Also, FYI, not to get too far off topic with that, the term wasn't created until like 1992. So all these 80s bands that are considered Visual Kei, it was all retroactive. But
yeah, because
go ahead.
Oh, continue.
Oh, no, I'll make my last point. The other point was that he confirmed that X Japan broke up because Toshi joined a cult, and that was just insane. Because like that was the rumor.
That was
like everyone kind of knew because that was the thing.
That's real.
No, but it was real.
It's real.
And if you watch,
it's super real.
And if you watch their last live DVD, there's like these weird things where he says weird things, like he's just being weird. And like they cut back to Yoshiki and Heath, and they look really Yoshiki and Heath. Well, Heath was there too, but I meant Yoshiki and Hida. They cut back to like Yoshiki and Hida, and they both look very concerned, like, so I'm gonna cut his mic, cut his mic. And then he like right before and apparently right before,
Get him.
yeah,
Get him.
right before they were about to cut his mic, I guess he stopped talking shit, because he was talking shit, but he was just going on about like his new age beliefs or whatever the fuck. And it's in the DVD, because like the DVD releases like it's like a 3-hour, 4-hour fucking long ass thing. It has like all the MCs.
It was. Yeah.
But anyways, go ahead if you're here to say. I don't know if you remember anymore, but I just want to talk about Yoshiki being in a cult. I mean Toshi being in a cult.
Yeah, he was. I remember like it's not even. Well, you remember why he left the cult? Because he found out that his wife was like draining money from him, and I think they had like some sort of she had an affair with the cult leader, something like that. And he was just like, F that, and he just yeeted himself out of there.
And it's worth noting that he mentioned in the documentary that he went back to ex-Japan because the cult leader needed money.
Mm-hmm.
That the cult leader is like, oh, we need some money, go back to ex-Japan. And he because there's a part in the movie where him and Yoshiki are talking, and then he's all like, yeah, I was still in the cult when I came back. And it was like, what the fuck? So this is all recent, by the way. All this cult stuff was in the past like 10 years. Not recent.
He almost got bamboozled.
Yeah. Oh, but Toshi's weird. He spells his name with an L, and I hate that. It's like Toshl.
Toshl? Does he really?
There's no I. There's no I. It's an L. If it's capital, you can't tell because it's just like Toshi. But it's a low. Oh, I should say that. The way it's supposed to be spelled is capital Tosh, lowercase L, not an I, not an uppercase I. And every so often, he'll spell it like a traditional way without being uppercase, and then you'll see that it's an L, because it'll be like Toshl, and it's like, shut up, Toshl. But yeah, he thinks he's cool. That's my Toshi story.
Well, I mean, like he doesn't capitalize the H in his name.
He doesn't?
It's lowercase.
Oh, I never knew that.
It's always lowercase.
Well,
lowercase. Am I making the H right? Yeah.
And then he did technically, I don't know if when he was with ex-Japan, but technically he just didn't capitalize anything. It was just like all lowercase. So
when you're lazy.
Yeah.
FYI, when you're a rock star, you don't need to capitalize anything. You don't need to learn how to write. And you don't know how to write. You don't need your punctuation.
Exactly. You don't need shit. FYI, in case you didn't know this, spelling.
I have a guitar.
Weird spelling in Japan is a thing, and usually they're very hardcore about it. Like the fans are too, but I mean, like especially like people like me who have to do stuff for like media things. Like the reason I know the Toshl thing is because I was corrected, because somebody saw, like, I guess the person who sent me the press release is like, oh, it's not Toshi, it's Toshl, even though it's still pronounced Toshi. Oof. And I was like, oh, that's fucking stupid, but I'll change it.
Pardon me.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think for the record, I'm not sure, maybe somebody can correct me, but I don't think it was always like that. I think that's something new and pretentious he came up with, like post
I don't remember them doing that.
Yeah,
as long as I've been a fan, I don't remember. I mean, even everywhere everyone Toshi.
I know, it's like you spell it the way it sounds, Toshi.
We go Yoshiko.
But yeah.
Yoshiko.
So FYI, his name is Toshl. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Sorry, we're getting really off topic here.
Toshi.
But yeah, ex-Japan. Also, Yoshiki got really like in the early 90s and late 80s, I should say. He got really obsessed with becoming like big in the West, and apparently the band all moved here. And I have a friend. And they didn't mention the documentary, but like I have a friend who was like in San Diego, who lived in San Diego like I guess his whole life. But he was saying in the early '90s that they would play like club shows. X Japan would play shows like in throughout like California, but especially in San Diego. He saw them like twice or something like that, because they were trying to like become big here. One of the things that they were trying to do was record an English album, and also they had a deal apparently. That's in the documentary. They had a record deal, and they did a press conference. They were being shopped around everywhere, and they changed their name to X Japan because there is a band already called X, which I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. To this day, I have never heard of that band until X Japan. They mention it. And every so often I'll go to a music store, which I guess isn't that often anymore, but like back in the day when like there were a lot more, I would head into a Tower Records and I get excited because I see an X section and I start looking at it and like, who the fuck is this? And I'm like,
this is not that.
And they're apparently really old too, because like one of the CDs I remember seeing years ago was like a 25th anniversary. So I'm like, oh, I think they actually predate X, X Japan X. So whatever. Anyway, but, yeah,
sure.
But none of that panned out, and Taiji left, or Taiji got kicked out actually, and yeah, and they recorded.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's interchangeable.
And then they recorded Art of Life instead. But like, they recorded Art of Life. They pretty much never recorded again. Like, it's really controversial to say, but like, they never did another album because like they recorded Art of Life, which wasn't an album, just one really long song. And then their last album, Dahlia, wasn't really an album. It was like 5 or 6 singles that they put together. And like the first song,
they got super lazy.
No, and they weren't like singles like the way people do an album when you release 3 or 4 singles and you make an album in 1 year. Like there were songs that were released like in 92 or 93 or whatever the fuck that were making it on this album in 95. And it's like, what the fuck? It was literally a single collection. Like everything from Art of Life to like
I think here, I actually have it right here.
Because like most of them are singles. Like Rusty Nail was like one of the few original songs that's worth talking about. And then Rusty Nail was a single. Never mind. Rusty Nail was a single. Fucking hell! There's like 4 ballads on that fucking album. Forever Love. They
have Tears on it too.
Tears was a single.
Tears was one. Tears was a single. Let's see.
Dahlia was a single, but that might have been a single for the album. But yeah, Forever Love, Rusty Nail, Dahlia was a single. Tears, how many is that already? And then what else is there? There's very few original.
We have 4.
There's very very few, and there's only 10 songs on the album. And I think somebody might. I forget what song people like Voices Screaming or something like that. But yeah.
That song's actually really good.
See,
there's actually.
I think you might have been the person because I'm like, there's no good songs that weren't singles on there. Somebody's always like, Voices Screaming, because that wasn't a single. I don't think it was, but yeah. No, it wasn't. Definitely wasn't. But yeah, Voices Screaming, and I'm like, oops. I never really listened to
that song. Voiceless Screaming, I think, was. No. Voiceless Screaming is not on this one.
Oh, is that on Jealousy or something?
Voiceless Screaming was it couldn't be it. Voiceless Screaming was before Taiji got kicked out because that's a
you're
Taiji
right.
Song.
Okay. Well, anyway, there's no good songs there. I said it. There's no good songs on Dahlia that weren't singles. That weren't singles. Honestly,
Longing was pretty good.
Longing,
but that's okay.
The only song I kind of liked was Rusty Nail, and. I don't know. But anyways, my point to bringing that up was they never did an album again. And even still, to this day, they've been recording songs for like 20 years.
They were supposed to. They were supposed to have an album out. Because we went to that. Remember they made a music video for that, for Jade.
No, they didn't. Remember, that's some bullshit. And that song's apparently still on the album. And that song is 10 years old. It's fucking 10 years old.
Oh, wait, was it... An IV, remember, on the Saw movie?
Oh, from the Saw movie. Dude, the Saw series isn't even around anymore.
It was in 2008. Wow, that's a long time ago.
But supposedly, I don't know about Ivy. That might just stay on Saw 4, but definitely Jade was like 2009ish or something like that, 2010ish, and that Born to Be Free and Jade are definitely supposed to be on the album, and those songs are 10 years old. It's like either like, and they have studio versions because they have MVs and shit like that. And I think I don't know, maybe they released digitally. I don't
Did
even
they
know.
release them?
I don't think they did.
I don't think they released. Remember, they had the one in L.A. They were shooting us from
Yeah.
in Hollywood. I don't think I've never. I don't think we got to see those
That's some bullshit.
music videos.
They're on YouTube. The Born to Be Free one, there was a filming for that too at Club Nokia, and I went to that. They filmed that fucking live because they did a live like take of it at Club Nokia, or I forget what it's called now. And they shot that video for about like 2 or 3 hours because that's the way the videos are. They kept redoing it. There was like girls in cages and fire and shit like that. It was kind of cool. But I swear to God, that scene was in that fucking video for Born to Be Free for about like 5 seconds, and I'm like, really? It's like you presumably spent all that money, brought all those people there. I mean, they didn't pay us, but they brought all those people there, and then they just they don't even fucking use it. Jade, they used a lot of that footage though. Jade did get an MV. I don't know if it's still up. They used to be on YouTube. I don't think they were officially up. Like people just like leaked them, but because that
because I remember. Oh, continue. Just continue.
Oh, but yeah, because the album never, obviously the album never materialized, and as far as I know, they never got any other releases like digitally or as singles. I like how this became an X-Rant podcast. fucking Toshl.
Well, I mean, like I said, I love them. It's just there's just some whatever decisions Yoshiki makes. Sometimes a lot of it, like it makes me question just a little bit, like what's going on. Because, like I said, like one of the biggest things is like I'm not talking shit, but just this is real. This is like on the real. Like he had this thing called Violet UK.
Oh yeah.
And they're playing, and I remember it was just piano, and then he's like, okay, this is during the times we had to go on forums. Okay, guys, this is back in the mid 2000s. So we went to Batsu forums to get all your Japanese music. Okay, that's where I found a lot of my VK stuff. They're talking about releasing Violet UK, doing some Violet UK stuff, really doing Violet UK. Okay, like with singing, a girl with vocals. You have vocals now, not just Yoshiki piano. Never came out. They died. And I'm just like, what happened? Right? And even there, I don't even, and even, yeah, they didn't make it. Remember, they said that they're going to make an album, and they still haven't.
They're never going. I mean, Yoshiki's like career is just forgetting what he promised to do.
I mean, at this point, yeah, like, and that's why it's a little iffy for me. Like, I can't. Oh, one. Can I? I could be real, right?
Yeah.
I could be 100. I just don't want to know if I have to like kind of hold myself back a little bit. I did not like Born to Be Free. Okay. I went there and I was like, this is not Extra Pan. All right. Even Jade, okay, and Jade is okay. Jade and Ivy's, I'd say on the Extra Pan level, it's like a 5. Born to Be Free was like.
It's sad because, like, don't get me wrong, I don't like Born to Be Free. As like, I would never listen to it on its own. I would never buy it. I
would listen to it if someone put it on.
Yeah, and if it wasn't Extra Pan, I would never give it a second look. I'd be like, oh, that song's trash.
Yeah, it's very forgettable. It's a super forgettable song. No joke. Like I'm being 100%. It's a super forgettable song.
Jade, I didn't really like, and Ivy. Okay, don't get me started on Ivy because Ivy, it used to be available on Guitar Hero of all things, and I think it was not free, but it was like in one of the official like packs, like not one of the games, but it was like in the metal pack or the rock pack or what it was, and I think, or definitely I had it. Doesn't matter how I got it. Anyways, it was in there, and I used to always play it like for the novelty of having Extra Pan in like Guitar Hero, or maybe Rock Band, doesn't matter. But I used to always play for the novelty of having it in there, and I played that song maybe like 10 to 20 times, and I could not tell you what that song sounds like because it was the most forgettable thing ever. Like, and I don't mean forgettable like you hear it and you forget it later on. I mean, I was forgetting that shit as I was hearing it because the whole song is very mellow, and I'm like, who the hell did Yoshiki pay off to get this song in Saw 4? Because first of all, like, it is not a Saw movie at all. You would think it'd be one of the more rocking songs, but no, it's like it's not a ballad, but
It's like
it's like it's the slow. Actually, kind of clear about it's.
and it doesn't
It's a droning song.
it doesn't even rock that hard. Yeah, it's like I said, like I would have to agree with that. Like, it's just the last 3 songs that they've made that are new. It just doesn't have that feel. I'm not saying that you have to go play some new stuff, but it just seems. And the funny thing is that you can kind of see them kind of veering off with that, especially during like Art of Life and later. What was it? Was it Art of Life and Dahlia?
Yeah.
You could kind of just like they kind of even had some even like a little electronic stuff.
Yep.
Like not like an electronic song, but they were messing around with it. And and not talking crap or anything, but it's like I guess that appeal didn't work. Like Yoshiki, his appeal, like his kind of way of tackling it to be big here. I don't think it was a good attempt. It just wasn't as successful. I think if he just kind of like went through with a lot of his work, it would have, like, and even if it wasn't good, at least it's something like you could someone could hold you down to your merit.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what. Well, it just depends. Like me as a fan, I was a little disappointed to see. Like I was like, okay, Violet UK gonna come out? It never came out. They died, right? Remember when they did the music videos, when they shot for IV for music video.
Oh yeah.
In Hollywood, they hardly showed us down there. It was, I mean, you think that you'd see like the roaring fans and them playing, but and then songs are kind of lackluster. And never came out with an X Japan album, like a new X Japan album. It was a lot of compilations and singles.
That's what this album's gonna be, no matter what it turns into.
Yeah, and even they have a We Are X. It's a compilation. It's
and I want to say there's a song in We Are X as well. I can't remember what it's called, but isn't there a new song in there as well? But whatever.
Did they throw a new song in there?
I think they did. But it's probably, I think it's another bullshit ballad. No offense.
It's Without You. But that one was really good.
Oh well, I have to listen to it now because.
Sorry. No. I mean, like, well, I don't. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like the vocals on it. Okay, I want to let you know now. I don't want to cut you off. But Without You was actually. It's repurposed.
Oh.
I listened to Without You before they threw lyrics on it. Before Toshi came back, that song was like a Yoshiki. I think if not a Violet UK song, it was a Yoshiki song.
Oh.
100%, 100%. I listened to that song before it even had vocals. Before they even thought about having vocals.
That's some lazy shit right there.
It's. I'm mad. I like them. I love X Japan. It's just there's some leadership. It's just some leadership decisions. Really kind of like press down on kind of tests my patience.
I'll say this. Yoshiki really likes living like the LA rockstar life, and I almost feel like he doesn't care. And I don't mean like doing drugs and like having all that kind of bullshit. I mean like as in being famous, being a socialite. That's what I mean. I just think that if he can get by, playing the same 15 songs at every X Japan concert forever, and if you can keep doing that, and then like keep hanging out with like big name celebrities and with the fucking Queen of England and bullshit like that, then he doesn't care. I think he's just like, oh, I don't need to finish that album. So
because people will always show up. Like, not gonna lie, like regardless of whether or not he finishes anything, people are still gonna show up. Like, as much as I hate to say it like that, like people will show up.
it's
And
true.
it because at this point it's like Yoshiki, like that's why, like for real, I would say like X Japan right now is just Yoshiki and friends.
It is.
Like, if you didn't know that actually they have X Hiroshima. X Hiroshima, yeah, where it's a band from Hiroshima that covers X songs, and guess who sings with them?
Who?
Oh, actually, I think Toshi plays with them.
Oh
He
shit.
sings for them.
Well, the thing is, like, definitely Toshi's like, just kind of being, like, dragged along with Yoshiki. But without a doubt, does anyone really think that, like, Sugizo, for example, who was like the replacement for Hida, does anyone really think Sugizo is like doing anything important with this band? Fucking Lunacy's moving along. Does anyone really think Heath is inputting anything interesting? Or Pata, for that matter? Like, as a matter of fact, you never really see those three in anything.
Everyone's it's just it's sad for me. Actually, Pata is a TV. It's like he's a TV personality.
Yeah.
Right. You never want to see the. I mean, that's okay, but it's like this talent just kind of whisked away, and I'm pretty sure everyone's doing their own little thing because there's nothing going on with X Japan. It's just Yoshiki and friends. You know what I mean?
Well,
like Toshi has to go do something. He didn't leave his cult to like do nothing.
he didn't leave his cult to like he has to make that money back his wife was stealing from him for years or whatever the fuck.
Yo, that
man.
lady, that thing freaking, like, that one still blows my mind.
I can't believe he got involved with the cult. That's just so amazing. Well, like it's
right. Like they're so against the grain, like fuck everything and fuck that, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, you're in religion, and now oh my god, you're in the cult, right? Like the people the guy, the front man of a band is just like X Japan, totally the black sheep, totally against the grain. It's like, sup guys, I'm in a cult.
And he was in it for fucking like 15 years.
For a long time.
Like 15, 20 years. Yeah, it's like a good chunk of his life.
Yeah, like, I mean, he left. X Japan was what? They ended in 98.
Well, they ended in 96.
He came back.
Because he died in 97. So, like.
Oh, no. Wait, why did I say 98? Yeah, 96.
So they ended in 96, but he was already in that cult for a couple years before. Like, it wasn't like brand
so he was already in it.
Yeah, like, because like I think he was in it, and then they were like, you have to leave. After a while, which is why he was saying bullshit. Because
I remember like,
that was it. Like when that tour started, I don't think it was even a tour. Like they just released Dahlia, and then they stopped performing live. Really, they fucking went like the Beatles route. They stopped doing shows basically.
Yeah, and also he stopped doing like old songs. He wouldn't do things from he wouldn't do things from Vanishing Vision or Blue Blood.
Oh yeah,
because they're kind of like against, and even parts of Jealousy. But Jealousy was, I mean, Jealousy was like the last of the guard, especially when it comes to songwriting.
Well, for sure.
But,
like I said, that was their last real album that was recorded as an album to be released as an album, and not just like collecting the singles we've been recording for years. Whatever the fuck they're doing now, but yeah. Oh man.
I mean, that's what they did right now for this X Japan We Are X compilation. It's just a compilation. They have so many compilations.
That's all they do, and they released another Greatest Hits album last year, a Greatest Hits album. I forgot what it's called, but I'm like, dude, do you need another? And it was just like a bunch of the ballads.
It's the same songs too,
yeah,
right? It's the same songs,
exactly.
Kind of just recycled.
Well, that's the other thing. Like you kind of hit it on the head there. They don't have a big catalog. I think you could put all their songs out that have been recorded, and it can't be more or be recorded in studio, obviously, because there's a ton of like live shit floating out there. But they're recorded in studio, and not counting the new stuff, because as far as I know, those have never really been released, except for like software. I mean, IV. But they only have like what 40 songs, 50 songs at most. Like that's just a guess. It can't be more than 50.
I'd have to count.
Yeah, we're talking four albums. Albums. There's about 10 songs on each.
4 real. Yeah.
So they have about like 4. They have about 50,
more or less.
Cutting out like some of the intro-y stuff, because there's a lot of like intro-y.
Yeah, a lot of like intros and outros.
So they have about like 40 or 40 or 50 songs. So even if they don't have much to work with, and nobody ever talks about Vanishing Vision, so you might as well just throw that off right away.
It's like bye.
And it's pretty much just Blue Blood and Jealousy, and then like the stuff they did after, like Dahlia and Art. Nobody, they rarely include Art of Life because like it's so long.
Yeah, but like oh my god, Art of Life. I used to listen to that song in school, in class, just to like when the song ends, class is done.
No,
but yeah, it does. And I think too is like what happens is like also like the sounds are just so different as well. When you say like no one, like everyone overlooks Vanishing Vision, I don't. That record's fucking awesome. But it's like it's a lot more like speed metal, thrash metal kind of sounds, right? And
yeah.
It's like, I mean, that's where Kurenai kind of came. I mean, like they put Kurenai on that. I think they re-recorded it too.
They did, because like the Kurenai is in English. The one that's in Vanishing, the one that's on Vanishing Visions is in English. Also, in case you never knew about Vanishing Vision, look that album cover up, because that album cover is an album cover that I can't show you guys, because
it's super edgy. It's really edgy.
There's nipples and gore, so not gore,
and
gore, but
cuts.
cuts. That's the better way to put it. There's cuts and nipples.
You'll see it. It looks exactly like their logo.
Oh yeah.
Just the first part of the logo.
Oh man,
you gotta see it's.
You know what? Let's actually move on a little. We've been talking about Extra Pan for like over a half hour.
Yeah, for like half an hour. Crap, we went. I hope we didn't go too far. All right.
Well, like we didn't have the most like setup of topics, so it's fine. But so let's
so we're just kind of like rambling on.
It's fine.
We have topics. We do. Just not.
But they're not like and we do this a lot, so it's not that.
Because you and I are just like we're just like bouncing off of each other.
Yeah, there's nobody in the chat. There's people watching, but nobody's saying anything. So if you're watching, say something.
Say something, people. It's okay, whether we agree with them or not.
Yeah.
About these topics, please.
In case you're new here or whatever, this thing right here, I'm actually looking at the chat like all the time, but nothing's in there. I keep touching it because if I don't, my phone will like close. Because it thinks I'm not. Even though there's video playing, it'll only stay up for like 5 minutes. So I have to keep touching it so that it won't disappear.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the chat, the Steam chat too.
Let's talk.
Oh, that's I say Steam.
Twitch. Let's talk about fucking hell. What was I gonna say? Shit. Where are they? Oh, there they go. Belzaleb.
That one, I freaking swear.
I hate spelling this one. Hold on, I'm gonna fuck it up. I know how to spell it. It's Bell. Oh shit! What did I do? Oh, I opened. It's BL. It's Bell. BELLZLLEB. What is this? Oh my god! I'm not gonna lie.
It's like just they messed it up. No, they didn't mess it up. It's like it's pretty gnarly. Even remember we were trying to say the very first time we went Bell. I was like, why can't we just call it Beelzebub? Why can't they just call it Beelzebub? It would have been so. We're over here like Beelzebub.
This band's really obscure, and they're worth talking about for a couple reasons. But real fast, I wanted to mention that I have this keychain right here, and it's of what's her name? Freya from Macross Macross Delta. But anyways, the thing was, it was, I don't know how it happened, but it started creeping up like on its own. Maybe this thing's falling a little, and in the background of my eye, all I saw was something edging towards me, and I thought it was somebody behind me. I don't know if anyone was watching, but I legitimately like had a jump scare right there. I thought somebody was. I thought it was like. I'm like, oh shit! Like I'm gonna be the next viral video.
Someone swatted you.
Someone's gonna take me out, like in the fucking Twitch live. I'm like, oh shit, it's
You're
happening.
like, what do I do?
No, really,
what do I have?
if anyone's
You're gonna
watching,
ask them what do I have that you want to take?
take my computer. But no, if
here's $1. Go treat yourself.
I know.
To McDonald's.
If you're watching on YouTube, backtrack a few minutes, you'll see me get a legit jump scare. And I'm like I get so scared. Anyway, it was when I was typing Belzaleb. Yeah, like I really jumped there.
Belzaleb.
Sorry. Anyway, it's cool because I don't know if we're gonna talk too much about female-fronted bands, just because we ate up a lot of the time with Next Japan, but I mean female bands. I will say this, Belzaleb, whatever. They're interesting because they have a female vocalist, and as far as I know, they've always had a female vocalist. They've had like 3, but they've always had a female vocalist. And it's worth noting also that they don't do like, how do I say this? They don't do like the kind of sound that, not to be sexist here, but just keeping it real, they don't do the kind of sound that you would expect from a female vocalist. They still did like, black metal type, like, very underground, very like grungy, punky type, songs and vocals about very black metal-y topics.
Satanism.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like Satanism and horror. Like what black metal is.
Yeah. So it's worth noting that they that's pretty interesting just because of that. You don't see many. You see it a lot, obviously, like in European metal bands, or even in the US, I guess. But you see a lot of like female-fronted bands. There are several, more than just 1 or 2. Don't get me wrong, because somebody will correct me. Like there's On Meals, there's another current one. But there are some female-fronted ones in Japan. But a lot of times in Japan, you just have all-female bands, which is something you don't see too often in general. Outside of Japan, I mean to say. I mean, like, in the US, I don't think you really see it at all. You have like the Go-Go's, the Bengals, like those kind of bands. And once again, not to be sexist, but half the time those bands weren't taken seriously. But in Japan, you could have bands that are doing like more standard like metal stuff. Like, it's worth noting that Shoya, let's talk about Shoya real fast. Sorry, Belzaleb, that was all the time you got. But we had to move on, Belzaleb. Check them out though. They don't have
Belzaleb.
They're also one of those bands that all you're gonna find of them is like 3 demo tapes. I think they have an album actually. And actually, I have
one of the videos too.
Yeah, I have one of
a weird video.
I have some of the music on my computer, so to be honest, I don't know where the fuck I found it. It's been on there forever. So if I was able to find it, it's out there somewhere. Do I not have Shoya in this folder? Oh, I do have Shoya. Okay, there it goes. I thought I didn't have Shoya in this folder. So it's worth mentioning that Shoya, they're an all-female band. They're kind of like... See, I don't want to... I don't want to say it like this either, but like they're basically like the female equivalent of X Japan, in that they're like this big like arena-filling band, but they're all female. It's worth noting that when they first started, because somebody might look them up and get confused, that their first 5 or so years, they were very poppy. They were very much like Princess. I don't know if anyone knows that band, but they were very much a pop group. And they were produced by Yasushi Akamoto, Aki-P, who people might recognize from AKB48 and everything else these days. Back then, he was doing idol stuff with like Onyanko Club. So... but now they're a lot more metal, especially in the 90s. They turned more metal, and then now they've reformed with I don't know if they ever broke up actually, but they definitely are still around to this day. And they do they actually
they broke up in '98.
Oh, they did. They did a really cool cover of Kurenai actually kind of recently. I don't know if you've seen that. I remember like
did they now?
Yeah. They did a really cool cover of Kurenai a while back, like a year or two ago, maybe a little longer than that, but recent. And but yeah, Shoya is really awesome, and they also are very indicative, like I said, of the all-girl band, because like once again, I don't know why it is. You'll never really you'll rarely see it. Actually, I'll say this: you'll never see like a female member in a band. Like I don't think I've ever seen that. Like you see it every so often elsewhere. Like there's that band I really love called Frozen Crown. That's their name. Anyways, they're a European metal band. I forget what country they're from, and they have a female guitarist. And you'll see it here and there, like elsewhere. But I don't think I can think of a single band in Japan that has a female musician. Just one, just like a random one.
There is this actually. This is thrash band.
Oh, really?
Called Gunship 666. Yeah, they only have 3 members. They're a 3-piece band. They have a guy on drums, guy on bass and vocals, and then they have a girl as their guitar player.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I'm actually glad to be corrected because I thought that was interesting to know.
So,
but
and they're current. They're current too.
Like
it's the current band. Yeah, it's super cheesy. Like they have sorry, I don't mean to go off topic, but they just have an album called I think like Japanese. They Jap something, and it's terrible. I was like, why would you guys? But then I guess that they could use their own taste. I was like,
well, it's
on themselves. It's like was I not supposed to say? I'm so sorry.
No. I mean, it's fine. Okay. Well, FYI, there was a topic where I was looking that up. There was a topic where we were dancing around that I guess we're just not going to do because of time now, not because I don't want to do it. But we were going to talk about bands that use uncomfortable imagery. And in case you're wondering what it is, I'm not going to say it, but you can look up Rommel and Rosenfeld, and if you're a history person, those names might ring a bell right away. And I won't say the other band because the other band is like, ooh, but I've seen way too many
that one's gonna.
Obviously, we don't support it. We don't support this at all. Condone it, support it, whatever. But I mean, I've seen way too many people on YouTube or whatever get taken down for mentioning shit like that. So I'm not gonna be that person. So I realize that now. So I'm not gonna say it. But check them out. And the reason I bring them up isn't so much because I want you to, ooh, shocking, ooh, look at that. But it's worth noting because these bands, Rommel and Rosenfeld especially, the other one too, their members were they were part of the web.
They're kind of
I don't know with each other.
Ion.
Yeah, Ion, X.
Ion's actually it's a really big one.
As a matter of fact, I think most of the members of Ion were in all of them. There was an Ion member in all 3 of them, basically. I mean, I don't mean the same person, but there was Ion members.
I think was it Hisayoshi? That's the singer for Rosenfeld. He actually, Hisayoshi. He's actually in Ion. He was in Ion and Rommel and in Rosenfeld.
Oh my god! So exactly. I don't want to call someone out. Maybe he has a thing for that. I don't know. Anyway, we don't. But
we do not condone. Well, there's the other band we called is what we call My Struggle.
Yeah, My Struggle.
Now you guys know what.
That's the other band.
I just want to say it
because it's sad to say that they are important in the history of speaking of other bands.
The music-wise,
yes,
musically they're very, very important. Their choice and style.
And it's also worth noting that these people weren't
not
singing.
So fond of.
It's also worth noting these people weren't singing songs, in that vein. Their songs were normal thrash songs. They were just, your typical bullshit. They just happened to adopt the.
It's all a shock value.
Yeah.
The shock value thing, and that saying is it's the imagery is distasteful, but the music, especially Rosenfeld, is the grade A. If you guys like thrash metal or anybody likes thrash metal or speed metal, the really harsh vocals, they are spot on. One of the best bands to come out of Japan.
I felt bad saying all that in front of Shoya's picture. So that's Rommel's pic. That's Rommel, but they're not showing anything bad there. They just look weird. It's a really grainy picture. But I feel bad for the Shoya fans who might be strolling ahead and what are they talking about? But anyhow, But yeah, there's a lot of good female-fronted metal bands you can check out in Japan. Unfortunately today, actually not unfortunately today, there's actually quite a few. There's like Bride Bear, I want to say they're called, and they're a lot more straight metal. There's like there's a lot of, okay, let me rephrase this. There's a lot of power metal female bands for some reason. I don't know, like the female all female power metal band seems huge in
Yeah,
Japan.
like power metal's huge in Japan, period. So it's like it's pretty interesting. Like it makes sense. Yeah, actually, it's like it's not. I mean, it's just interesting, but it makes sense why they would why they usually front power metal bands.
But
Plus, it's more melodic anyway.
it is. Oh, we actually covered most topics. Let's see what else we
Like,
have left in our topics. We talk about a lot of the bands, but let's talk about some of the more recent bands. I feel like we've covered a lot of 80, except for X Japan. For some reason, X Japan, we had enough to talk about forever. Fucking X Japan.
X Japan's the uncle that just won't go away. He's like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. He just like has the football. He's like, oh, and everyone's just like, okay, Uncle Rico. But what were we saying? New bands.
New bands. Well, let me actually, before we go into new bands, it's worth noting. Well, let me see. I'll put current bands as a topic.
Or current bands.
It's worth noting that a lot of the bands we mentioned are still around. Because a lot of them did break up, but I don't know if it's because of the 80s revival that the whole world's going through, or just because the time was right. A lot of them are reformed, including some of the old VK ones. Like I think Derlanger's on tour recently with Kyo. The Saber Tiger vocalist who's not in Saber Tiger anymore. But Derlanger's still around. Saber Tiger's still around. X Japan's obviously kind of still around. Shoya's still around.
Lunacy is Lunacy. Do we technically they're still?
Well, Lunacy's still around, but we do
They're
Lunacy.
still doing stuff, yeah.
Yeah, they're still doing new stuff. Their one little shtick is that, like, I guess we didn't include them because they're not like totally metal. They're but their first release was very punk. Like their first album and everything like that. It was very punk, aesthetically.
Everyone
and
moves.
sound-wise. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when they get picked up, they're just like, whoop.
But
Who else is?
Dang.
Dang.
I'm trying to think of other bands. Apparently, I was talking. There's a friend of ours, mutual friend of ours. I don't want to name. I think one of the Rommel or Rosenfeld's bands had got together for like a one-off or something like that, kind of recentish. That was made up of like some of the surviving members. Not surviving members. I shouldn't say that because I don't know if any of them have died, but like of some of the still active members, as in like active in the music scene. And it's worth noting.
Get up.
Yeah, that some of these bands that come back. We didn't mention like Color or fucking what's the other one called? The one that Kenzie was in. Kamaitachi.
There you go.
We didn't mention all the smaller ones, but when some of these other bands reform, a lot of times they grab members from the other bands, like like this little cabal of aging musicians who still got it. No, I don't mean aging in the bad way, but these like cabal of aging musicians who kind of just yeah, I'll join your band for this
Seasoned.
like reunion tour, huh?
We'll call them seasoned.
Seasoned. They're vintage. And Loudness is still around, and they have mostly the original lineup. The original drummer, his name
Munetaka Higuchi.
There you go. He passed away, unfortunately. In 2008.
But they basically have the same lineup as I think all the way from Birthday of Eve. They have everybody that's the same.
Yeah. It's the original bassist as well. The original vocalist is back.
Mm-hmm.
The drummer, the new drummer, has been there for like over 10 years now, and I think they were on tour like in the U.S. recently. I don't think they came around here though, because I don't remember hearing about.
No, I don't think they did for Loudness. Not yet. Oh. I don't think so. I've been kind of keeping up a little bit on them. They did do that. Like I think they did that metal cruise. I think 10 tons of metal or something like that.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty cool.
So
but continue.
Well, that's it. Any other current bands you want to talk about?
There's Galnerius.
Huh?
Do you like Galnerius? You ever heard of Galnerius?
Yes. I'm not gonna lie. people keep telling me, and you're one of them too. People keep mentioning them to me, but have yet to listen to them. Once again,
here I'll give you some stuff. They have two singers. They have two different singers, so I'll put them into different eras for you. But Loudness is actually one of the biggest, if not the biggest, power metal bands of Japan. They have everybody in that band is a fucking virtuoso. Like everybody there is like grade A musician, especially Shu, their guitarist. The funny thing is, the reason why he wanted to play guitar and make a band was because of X Japan.
Oh shit.
That was one of his things. Yeah, he's like, I think there was a question, someone asked him, like, why'd you want to make a band? He's like, oh, because of X Japan. And that's how he kind of started his musician life. And the funny thing is, we're talking the previous, about, bands using the imagery. We'll call it. He has a band. He had a band previously. I'm not sure if they're still around, but I used to like them a lot. I still do, actually. They're called Auschwitz.
Oh, you're right. Oh
yeah,
my
he has
god,
a thrash
I forgot
band
there was a band called that. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, Auschwitz is actually, and the thing they didn't wear the stuff, but it's just like that was their name, and for some reason it's really big in Japan for some reason, like doing stuff like that. Kind of crazy, I guess.
I forgot about that band. Like, I have that music on my computer as well. It's just so funny. I haven't thought about them in years.
And but Shu, but they have like Shu's really good. There's their singer Yama B, who the previous singer, he has like a more operatic voice. That guy's freaking awesome. And actually, for me, Shu is actually in my opinion, the best guitar player of recent age from Japan. And they have epics. Angel of Salvation, that's like I think a 14-minute song.
Oh my god.
I'll show it to you. They have 3 solos. And it's really awesome. Like, not to take away from anybody else, the bass player is freaking awesome. Drums, it's like everything. But they have a different singer. I forgot what his name was. But Loudness they play like grade A power metal. Like one of the best. And what's up?
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, and yeah, that's all I wanted to input. Like, if there's a band that I could recommend for anybody like power metal that likes power metal, excuse me, Loudness is my go-to. Hands down, one of the best bands from Japan of this age.
Unfortunately, I don't think I have any current ones I can recommend. Just because I don't listen to a lot of current Japanese metal, unfortunately. I mean, I listen to a lot of the older bands that's still around, but a lot of the Japanese stuff I listen to more rock. But
like Loudness is kind of old too. They're like late, I think early 90s, like pretty late 90s, but they're still making songs.
Yeah.
So well, the thing is that I can't put it in the current category because it's way after the big gas wave of it was way after the big wave of VK. Actually, VK kind of blew up. Like in Japan, it's kind of been there. Then it blew up in America, right? And then it kind of died. So for actual like metal bands, I put them in the current category, and they're just strong, pretty young. Let's see.
Your internet got very McDonald's there.
Oh!
It was fine. Did
you get McDonald's?
You got McDonald's. It's fine. McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Gunship 666 is pretty good too. I like them.
There's before, because we're gonna start. We're not gonna wrap it up any second now. But before, there's a band I wanted to talk about. Not to jump too far back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But there's a band I want to talk about that I'm surprised. I was like, we need to talk about this band for sure. And it's a band that you love. It's a band I love too because it's just so fucking weird. It's Seikima-II. Wait.
Oh yes.
Sorry. I had
Seikima-II.
So we'll just lump this back to like wacky bands because I don't want to go back like in the podcast format, but because they're no longer around. That's all right. RIP. Well, they're not like dead,
Ripperoni.
but they're no longer.
They're not dead. But they they conquer the world with metal.
They're, okay, well, a lot of people, I think that they're worth talking about now because they're one of those kind of bands that people find randomly, if you know what I mean. They're the kind of band that maybe like will end up on a wacky Japan list, or something like that.
Yeah, that's how I found them. Or not the list, but I found them out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think I first heard of them because they were there was a single called "Give Me Five" from AKB48, and
Hmm.
all these people were doing like covers of it. There was like an AK Bingo or some TV show like that, and there was like there was kids doing it, there was people doing it in different styles. But then Seikima-II did a cover of it, and it was a metal version or whatever. But yeah, so or maybe it was just Demon Kogure by himself. I don't remember who was or when they might have broken up, but 'cause I know they broke up. They broke up one time, obviously '99, but then they came back. When they broke up for the second time, I don't
They
have
came
this on my
back.
list. Huh?
Let me
Oh.
actually here. Let's.
Well, actually, while you're looking that up, it's worth noting. Let's back up and talk a bit about the band because the band is
So
they.
2015 to 2016.
Oh, that makes sense then because that was
Oh,
about time for Give Me Five. But so the band, they're a bunch of demons, and they come from hell. And what's some of their shticks? Like,
they're like they have so everybody has like a little like they have like their position. Everyone has like their position in hell. So Demon Kagure is basically the well now is Demon Kaka.
oh,
So
we
he's
did.
now he's like that's their shtick. Their shtick is they are demons from hell and they come to take over the world with heavy metal. And Demon Kagure is their leader, and everybody that comes with him are his like I guess there's his apostles.
Yeah, it's
And
it's
it,
funny because like,
it is
go ahead,
what's
keep
up?
going. I'm just laughing. Keep going.
I don't know, just like they just it's interesting to see like and it's like it's a gimmick. Like it's a real gimmick, but it's so beloved. And the funny thing, like not only that, it's like so everybody else, um, I'm not so sure about the rest of the band. Some of them Ace Shimizu,
Hmm.
he has his own like rock band and stuff, and he was actually one of the before they broke up. So there's a time where they had the original guitarist Joe Ohashi. Joe Ohashi left, and Ace Shimizu played with him until they broke up. And he actually has a rock band. He shows his face, like
Oh shit.
he's not just Ace Shimizu. But Demon Kagure, of everybody in the whole entire band, is the only guy that stays in character, like almost like from
Hmm.
every time I've seen him, 100%. I'm pretty sure he dresses like that. He also does sumo wrestling. He is a commentator for sumo wrestling, and I'm pretty sure he shows up there in makeup and in like in character, and he always stays in character all the time. So like that's like the biggest little the gimmick they have, and it's I guess in a way it's like does even mm, it's a thing that sells, but their music's actually like
Yeah.
spot on good heavy metal though. Like don't get me wrong, like it seems like I said it's like it's a little gimmicky, kind of like the Kiss,
Yeah.
like the Kiss
It's kind
or
of.
Ghost or
I was about to
Ghost,
say. I was gonna
you
say that
know.
too. It's actually very much like a Kiss meets Ghost kind of thing because they kind of have the Kiss aesthetic, sorta. Um,
Yeah,
like early Kiss, I mean, especially with like all the theatrics, but then all their like lore and stuff is very very Ghost.
it's
Uh,
very yeah, it's like it's very satanic. It's very extremely dark.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it is in a way, huh? It is kind of like well, the yeah, like the visuals kind of similar to Kiss, and then like the song, not we would say songwriting, but the theme, the thematic parts
Yeah.
of Ghost, you can put them together. If that's the or maybe Ghost is those just those.
Well, Ghost ripped them off, of course. 'Cause Ghost is.
But
By the way, if anyone wants to
oof,
hear a really cool song, listen to "Kiss the Go Go," the new Ghost song. I've been fucking obsessed with that. I don't know if you saw my post on Facebook. Sorry, guys, but I posted on Facebook. I put like
I saw
Satan,
it.
Lucifer, Osculum Obscenum, because that's like the pre-chorus part to the song. He just shouts out like Satan, Lucifer, Osculus. It's an amazing song. I love that song. And the song isn't like, the song is very like, and if you watch it too, it's very like Scooby Doo, goofy, like spooky. It's not meant to be taken very like seriously, but it's still awesome. Anyway, sorry, that's my random Ghost aside. It's a cool song. I love. It's my current favorite song. That's my recommendation. Totally off topic. Go listen to Ghost. Kiss the Go Goat. But anyway, but yeah, Seikima-II. They have a like you were mentioning their music. Their music is actually really really spot on. When we used to do like see, I would never put them in a Visual Kei panel. But whenever we would do our Visual Kei panels, there would always be the person here or there who would bring them up, that we should mention them. And like after like the second or third time I'd heard it, because before this I only knew of them because of the AKB48 thing I mentioned a while back. So after the second, third time somebody told me this, I went to go listen to their music, and I'm like, no, this is just straight metal. Like this is like, there's nothing.
Yeah, it's very classic.
Yeah,
classic heavy metal sound. Because it's like, and the thing, they may have like, even the way that they applied their makeup and their costumes, it was, I guess it's similar, but it's so far apart. Like it's totally, like looking at it, it's like, this is not VK. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's definitely not Visual Kei, and even the way that they play. Well, but even the Visual Kei moniker that's a little iffy too. I have like an unpopular opinion about that one.
What?
About Visual Kei, like it's my unpopular opinion about Visual Kei is that it's a style, not a sound or genre of music. Now, yeah.
No, I agree. Go ahead, go on though.
Oh no, it's like now I guess Japan, like that Visual Kei kind of, we'll put it in quotes. Visual Kei, it does have like a certain specific sound, right? Like now it kind of has its specific sounds, but then it was all like it's whatever they really kind of wanted to play. Like you had bands that kind of dressed like that but didn't play. Like there isn't a specific sound for Visual Kei, right?
Yeah.
Then it was like Visual Kei. Now everyone's just like, okay, it's a Visual Kei band. But then it was just like, you have bands that play like thrash metal bands like that, like thrash metal bands kind of like Rosenfeld and Ion. You also had like black metal bands, or we'll pull like kind of and like black metal bands. Yeah, some prog, some bands, even these other bands were kind of proggy too. Bands played like they were just or just like straight heavy metal.
Bucktick were like very like new wave, like new wavy, like prog kind of shit going on too. The great 80s new wave sound to their music.
And it's like, and they have the aesthetic, but it's like, wait, but your sound doesn't sound like this, but you have the aesthetic. Where it's just like, okay, I think people are giving it or getting a little getting it mixed up a little bit. You know what I mean? But the thing is, we come from the old guard, right, where people are just playing what's popular then, right? Like, so they're just like, okay, metal's already popular. They want to dress up shocking, bring everyone together, and that's what it is. And all of a sudden, it just turned into VK. And then in the '90s, that's when the VK kind of started having its own little sound. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, okay, that it starts to make sense a little bit more. But before, it's just like, these bands look like this and they play X, Y, like A through Z genres. Like, we cannot scoop them and say this is Visual Kei because they're playing a whole bunch of different stuff. You know what I mean? But yes, Seikima-II.
Oh, Seikima-II, go ahead. I was done pretty much anyway.
Oh, no.
I was gonna just add my last little thing to that. Was that I remember, oh shit, sorry, there's this really sharp part to my chair, and if I drag myself too far against it, it cuts me. But there's this shit. Oh, when I got into VK, sorry, I lost my thought. When I got into VK, I remember it was around the time when like Mwadi Small was like first starting. They were like really popular, and like Blood, there was a band called Blood, and there was like everyone still acted like Malice Miser was still around. So there was like this. I like. There was like this notion that was Visual Kei.
I'm sorry.
Oh, the way I said that, people were still acting like. No, people still discover like Malice Miser today, and they're all like, "Oh, it's like like, dude, they fucking been broken up for over 20 years." and the GAC stuff most people really care about has been like done for like 25 years ish. And Klaha, the other vocalist, he's retired. He retired over a decade ago. It's like it's done. It's done. Malice Miser is gone.
Yeah, I think like I feel so bad for Malice Miser too, because like when Gax left, it's like they just tanked, and I was like, yikes.
Well, because Gax left, and then Kami died,
thing, right?
And then Kami died like right after.
Kami died.
Like and it just so that band unfortunately like had some problems to face, and like I remember like I was actually to be totally fair, I was actually a casual VK fan. Like I didn't know what VK was. I was a Malice Miser fan. I remember when that album was still new, because I was like in like early high schoolish, and I had my mom buy it for me at a store, like the Klaha album. And I remember it was so weird because like most of it had no vocalist, and Klaha was like on 3 songs or 4 songs, and like that whole album was meant to just be like, oh, we don't have a vocalist, just like 3 of us still playing, like Mana and like the bass, Cozy and Yuki. That's the bassist's name. I can't remember his name for a second. Yeah, how can I forget his name? But anyway, my point was when I got into VK, it was always like a very goth thing. So like, even though that's definitely hasn't been the case for a while, and if anything, that was barely the case only for like a little microcosm. But like if you go back to the internet in 2006 or something like that, that's all people liked.
Could you give me just the one second?
Go ahead. But yeah, just to wrap up what I was saying, goth. He's bringing in a cat. He's bringing in a cat, isn't he? Yeah, he's bringing in a cat. Guys, you want to have a cat in the camera soon? Did you have a cat?
Yeah, my cat wants in. She's been knocking at the door. She's been like,
no, it's funny.
I was just
we've had
sorry. I didn't mean to like cut the podcast like that.
Oh no, we've had past podcasts where cats have been an issue. There was one time we had Heidi on a while, like one of the very first ones we ever did, and she's like, I have a cat. Like she was in a new house. She's like, I have a cat in this house, and she's like, I'll bring him in for the podcast. And the cat wanted to be in there because the cat was pawing at the door. And the second the podcast starts, the cat's done. The cat's like, I want out. She's like, he's crying and he was crying so loud you could hear it through the mic. And I was like, oh my god, yeah. I was like he was like bothering you to get in before the podcast started. Now that it started, it's like, oh, I'm out. Like, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, my cat's like right now she's bothering me because I think she wants me to go downstairs and like play with her. She's like kind of attacking me right now.
No, everybody's like, but well, don't worry. We're actually gonna wrap it up soon because I just want to talk about Seikima-II before we wrapped it up because we should do this topic again because there's a lot of bands I feel we should, because we got so distracted with X Japan. Because I wanted to talk about Sabbath. I wanted to talk about like the Tokyo Yankees, and we keep mentioning Ion. We haven't said shit about them, but we don't really have time for that either.
Yeah.
We brought up Ion literally like 10 times.
For another time, we'll save it for another time.
Yeah,
definitely.
But I don't know. On that note, I think I'll start wrapping this up entirely. Let me just change this real fast to conclusion. If anyone has anything to add or anyone wants people to talk, because there's still people in the chat who I'm like, I see you guys coming in and out. I see the numbers changing, but nobody's saying anything. But conclusion. Did I spell that right? Yeah. Okay. I can't see. I'm like, it's not so much that I'm that blind. It's the fonts are really spidery when you type it before it appears. At least for me, the preview. Anyway. So yeah. So anyways, on that note, Japanese metal, it's a lot of shit. It's a lot of good shit. It's a lot of things to talk about. We avoided, I think subconsciously, because we didn't talk about this beforehand. I like to avoid the genre talk, or let me rephrase that, the sub-genre talk, where we can. Like, we mentioned power metal, we mentioned black metal, but those are kind of like the obvious ones. But like, my favorite one, it's like post-punk, neoclassical. It's like
oh no.
Oh my god, that was classic. Oh, your cat's being a punk. Is your cat like jealous? The cat
She's trying to get my attention. So usually she can't, like when I'm playing games, excuse me, when I'm playing games, she just comes and like
That's so mean. Oh my god. Oh,
Like,
cats are the best.
like I know. Now she's just knocking all my shit on my on the dresser over.
Anyway, we wrap this up soon. So, anyways, that was it. I was gonna just mention that
Like,
we avoided it, but keep in mind there's a lot of different metal genres out there if you like them. It's not just all Visual Kei, which is the thing we were trying to talk about. We'll definitely do this again. There's a lot of topics that
yeah, like.
Anyways, I was gonna say there's a lot of topics I
continue.
want to cover in the podcast in general, and ever since we moved away from being just an idle podcast, there's a lot of things I want to try, and this is one of them, doing metal and shit like that. And I still have the VK episode planned. It hasn't happened, but yeah, after Halloween, I promise. But go on.
Like during Halloween, that's when everyone gets to be in character.
That's a good segue, by the way. Because speaking of which, now I'm gonna start wrapping it up. I'll give some quick announcements before we fully wrap it up because I always forget to do all of them. But next week, unless I change my mind, we're not gonna have an episode next week. We're gonna have. I'm gonna publish the idol video game episode that I did with Sylvia and Max and Konaru. So that was weird because it's the four of us and we've never been together like that, and it's also 3 hours long. And I tried to edit it because there was issues with it, but the file was so fucked it never let me. So I'm just gonna put the whole thing up. I still had to convert it because the file was messed up, but I couldn't edit it. I still can't. So it's all gonna go up there raw. Have fun with that. It was a really fun episode, but there's a lot of weird moments where like I intended to cut it out. I was like, no one leave. I'm gonna just cut this off of YouTube. And we just kind of stand there for like 10 minutes while I'm trying to fix things. So bear with it. And I can't even put anything on screen because I can't edit it. So just I'm gonna put a bunch of comments. Just scrub over it for a bit. Or watch it because every so often, like as we're doing nothing, I start fighting with Sylvia, and it's kind of funny to watch if you care about people fighting. But I start bullying everyone when I get upset. But anyway, the reason we're going to be dark next week is because we're doing a whole series of Halloween episodes. The first one's going to be on childhood trauma. I know it sounds weird, but we're going to talk about the things that scared us as kids, like horror stuff. And
oh man,
yeah,
mine was it.
Oh shit. I got some, but I'm not going to spill them yet. You have to watch the podcast. Max is going to be on that one. That's on the 1st of October. That's Tuesday after next. And then the Tuesday after that, we're going to do a tier of Halloween candy. And that one's going to have Callie and Janet, the two. If you watch the podcast a lot, you know Callie. She's been like on our maid ones, on our anime ones, and so on. So it'll be an interesting thing. And then we have others planned that haven't been scheduled. But to keep an eye out for those. Shout out to Ed and Kenneth, the current patrons, and if you want to join us on Patreon, patreon.com/A2JConnections, and give us money to help us do what we do. If not, then honestly, just watch the shit. I don't really care. But if you want to support it, that's awesome. There's perks in there. You get like exclusive. You get early access to interviews. There's at least one exclusive interview that's on there because it never got approved, and then there's a bunch of exclusive videos, like video versions of interviews, and a couple just straight up exclusive videos. There's exclusive Discord roles if you care about that kind of thing, because we do have a Discord, which is a little dead right now because everyone was like gone for the summer, but it should be revived again soon. And I mean, if anyone talks, we'll talk back. But yeah. Go ahead.
I didn't know you guys had a Discord.
Yeah, we do. I should put you in. You can talk some more and like make some of our shit more lively.
Yeah, I think what I could also do is like, if you could do like a J metal thing, I could just kind of drop some stuff.
Yeah, of course. Like, because the thing is like, all of our active people like who like do shit in our Discord, they all left for the summer. Like they either went to Japan. Like one of our big people went to Japan for a couple months and was kind of like about 2 months. It was like AWOL, and he was like our biggest poster in all of our idol shit. Then like Konara was gone, and then I wasn't gone, but I was just busy picking up all the other slack. So anyway, that's that. I'll add you to it later because now that I have your Discord, I'm gonna mass add everyone who's ever been on the podcast. It's like you guys are stuck because you guys agreed to be on the podcast. You are
now part of our Discord.
You're a Discord hell. But no. So on that note, I guess I'm gonna wrap this up. I really need to pee too, so I'm gonna like run out of here the second we're done. You don't run.
Same here. I have a sandwich waiting for me.
Oh shit!
I needed that.
So on that note, thank you, Warren, for joining us tonight. We'll definitely do this again. I'm gonna also keep an eye out for new hosts. If anyone's watching this and you might want to be on, talk to me, and then maybe we'll let you be on. Like
yeah, definitely.
So yeah. Anyway, on that note, thank you all for watching. There's been a bunch of you, even if you're kind of silent. Thank you for watching anyway. Thank everyone on YouTube.
Thank you guys.
If you stuck to the end, let us know what you thought, because a lot of people, I see a lot of people watching this to the end on YouTube, but so few comments. So let us know what you thought about it. And on that note, have a nice night, good night, and see you soon.
Good night.